What I want to talk about. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. The Brothers. All right. Let's say good morning. Good morning, Mama Corey. Great morning, Lisa. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for rocking with us. Yes, as you're in the comments, talk to each other. Thank you guys for always being a part of what we did. Um, so actually, I'm gonna bring you ready, Kaneem? All right. Good. Kaneem, aka JT Money,
What it is, what it do.
and what it be like. What's up? Today we're gonna be talking about dealing with conflict. But before we get into that, your boy
Damn.
Victor Hill got
What
18
is
months.
how much you
Eight,
get
18 months.
for a sheriff of a major county in the state of Florida? I mean state of Georgia?
Yes.
Oh,
18 months.
behind
18
ball.
months. But it's interesting. So I had was having a small text conversation with some folks this morning, and she sent me. She's like, the new sheriff. I don't know if he's gonna be much better.
Yeah, but Victor Hill ain't nothing like that stainless steel toilet, boy. I
Hold
don't
on.
know if you ever I don't know if you ever
I've
sat
seen it.
one.
I've seen it.
Have you, have you ever
I was in a space to see it. I was like, I hope I'm not here long enough to have to use it.
Oh yeah,
I
man.
wasn't
It's a
I
whole
wasn't
different
there
feeling,
long
boy.
enough to have to use it, but I seen it. I was like, oh, this is
It's a
good.
whole different reminder of what you don't want in life. You know what I mean?
Right,
You,
right.
you don't want that
We
stainless steel toilet, I'll tell you.
we thinking life decisions right there, like how
Oh,
did I end up here?
every
How?
time you look at it,
Right.
every time you look at it.
So, but let's see. Let me see if I can. So this is the picture of the, I guess, current temporary sheriff. I don't know if he got elected yet, but that's the sheriff holding it down.
Oh, I think of that name, Allen,
Allen or something. Yeah. And I was like,
Levon Allen,
yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
Levon, that's what it was,
Levon.
Levon Allen.
Levon. Ooh.
Yeah, Levon.
Who
Levon
who
got
wanted
that name
who want a man named
in lights
Levon
all over Clayton County,
running your
billboards.
county? Levon is running the
Yeah,
county.
he all over police cars,
Right.
vans.
Already? Is his name
Oh
in here
yeah,
already?
he on Clayton County Transit. He
Wait, but is he the sheriff now? Like, is he
yeah, he
permanent?
the
He's been
interim
elected.
sheriff. Well,
He
you go to the
interim.
movie. You
You
go to the movies
interim.
in Clayton County, you're gonna see Levon in the little skit in between the movies.
Oh,
This
let me
movie
get
is
her.
brought to you by Levon Allen.
You interim. How you got your name everywhere already? What's up,
Uh,
Matt? Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
You can get past in the building. Corey,
that's how it
welcome.
is. What up, brother
Good
Brian?
morning.
Brian
Good
might know.
morning. Yeah,
That's
right there, right there, right there, right there. Boom. Salute.
yeah, Brian might know
Levon.
What's that?
about Levon Allen.
right. Lisa,
I
the name
know
is
he's
sending
the
me.
interim sheriff for Clayton County, but I don't know anything about him. I just know that
Oh, okay.
he's sitting in the chair right now. That's all I know.
Yeah, we talking about how he was posted on everything, billboards and sides of police cars, and he just
Yeah.
everywhere you see a sheriff, he got his face. Like
Well, he
y'all
wants
gonna
everybody
reelect
to
me, and I'm
know.
gonna use the county dollars for all my campaign.
He wants everyone to know that it's no longer Victor Hill.
Right. I mean, I
But
get
that's his
scratching
cousin,
Victor
though.
Hill name off. I get
That's his
that part.
cousin, though.
But then you're gonna slap your name up there, like, dude, you're not even holding the spot yet. You didn't even get elected. You
Yeah, his
interim.
goal is to be permanent.
I get it, and I guess you go smack it everywhere. Can I put my name
Yeah.
everywhere? Am I in? Is it in the budget?
Hey,
to slap my name everywhere.
Your name is definitely familiar. I tell you that.
Levon. Lil Levon, sheriff of Clayton County. That's what they probably said. Lil Levon. All right. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to Brothers of Legacy. That's what you're watching. To my left, right is my brother like no other, Mr. I went blank. Kaneem Curvey, aka.
Oh man, you forgot my name. Don't stop, get it. Don't stop, get it. Giddy. That's what you can call me. That. Don't stop. Giddy.
It's too much to write. It's too much to write in there.
It's Brian A. McCrory Sr. drinking something with the black label. Interesting. We will talk about that later. All right. And okay. And to diagonally is our Wednesday Mental Health Wednesday Matt Genius in the building.
Greetings, blessings, and gratitude.
Right.
Yes, sir, brother Matt. Brother Matt, what you got on topic for us today, my brother?
Ooh, what I have on topic?
It's your day, man.
I got you. Listen, I have a slew of them. I really think we should give the people a chance to just ask direct questions if they have specific questions.
Dealing with mental health.
Yeah, we haven't had a chance to really engage them that way.
That's
So
fine. We can open it up.
yeah, let's let it breathe for a little bit. See what the
Brother Matt has spoken.
If we got any questions out there in Facebook, YouTube land, let us know what you think. Actually, I didn't even run the intro. So while I say that, let's see. Let me type it in.
Y'all gather your questions together now.
Gather the questions.
Ask Matt.
Ask
Matt Genius. Gotta say the whole thing like a Tribe
My
Called
bad.
Quest.
Ask Matt Genius.
There you go. I like that. Tribe Called Quest.
All right, let's see. I spell that Gene N-I-U-S. There we go. Bam. Ask Matt Genius. All right, we're gonna go into our intro. And, we'll be right back. No time.
Somebody's got an answer.
Right?
He's ready.
Man, we just cleaned your bottom.
He's ready. He's ready.
All right, we're right back.
Come on.
You're watching the Brothers of Legacy. We don't stand out. We stand up.
All right, let me. It looks like he's dealing with baby right now. So today is Ask Matt Day, and I got a few questions too. All right, so Alicia asked, and good morning. Why do most men shy away from therapy? Ain't nobody shy. Oh, he still fix himself.
What up, sweetness?
Let's see. Let's go. Bam. Hold on. All right. So, first question: why do most men shy away from therapy? Hey there.
Hey.
We got the real genius in the house.
Right.
There we go.
So I got to grab something. I got to grab something.
That's a great question to start off. First of all, I don't think it's just men. There's a lot of people, but of course, men get that reputation the most because we tend to have some adverse towards sharing and exploring our emotions, right?
Okay.
And there are just general stigmas in mental health that keep people away. First of all, when we label people with mental health, sometimes we label them as weak, as crazy, as things that people don't want to associate themselves with. And then of course the headlines that you see in media doesn't make it easier, because sometimes it's portrayed as violent, as incompetent, as a lot of things. And so it stops people from going to therapy. And then you have the other part where the societal norm for a lot of men is that what emotions? As if they don't exist. And so when it comes to dealing with it on a greater level, it makes it more difficult for a man to say, you know what, this is what I need, and then getting outside help. I don't need nobody to do anything for me. And so sometimes a lot of these things get in our way. And then it's also about cost analysis too. Sometimes they believe the cost is not worth the benefit of it, because if you look at the history of psychology in general, it hasn't been friendly towards
Right.
towards a lot of people because of some of the stigma and misdiagnosis that has happened in our field. You know, you can go back and date this to the time of slavery where they had a diagnosis for runaway slaves. And then you can fast forward to a lot of misdiagnosis of black and brown people in the early 80s and 90s when the, you know, onset of ADHD, ADD, OCD, all these diagnoses that were coming out in schools and so forth like that separated a lot of us and put us on a trajectory towards not having the success that we desire. And so therefore, you know, we have our own personal reasons why we may shy away. I definitely think there's a turn that is happening right now because there are way more men represented in the field that will allow other men to feel more comfortable sitting in front of another brother, you know, and so that has caused us to feel just a little bit more comfortable. I still think there's still some resistance because we give up easily as well. You know, we look for the reasons, and I was a part of that too. Look for reasons why we should not go, and so all we doing is looking for a reason. You know, I called once, try to make an appointment, nobody called me back. You see, that's why I shouldn't go to therapy, right? Or I went to therapy, and she or he, you know, was picking on me, you know, and so that's why I can't go to. And so the reasons are on and on. What I suggest that we do is really understand the value of mental health and what it is that you are investing in when you go to therapy. What you're really investing in is not just your condition. When you change your mental and emotional state, you're benefiting your environment. It's like a domino effect. Once I get healthy, then my health will start to project onto this little one right here, right? And then that gives him a better chance of having a brighter future and not even needing therapy in the future. Because some of us who are still dealing with trauma, anxiety, depression, or whatever it may be, that's transferable. In those states, we do a lot more damage than we do good. And so the cost that we're not paying for is compounding by the minute. You know, when we're not in a healthy state, we're deregulating our family, we're deregulating our kids, we're going to work unhealthy, you know, we're imbalancing our whole ecosystem. And so for a man who's shying away from therapy, I'm saying you're shying away from benefiting not just you, but your entire ecosystem, your entire environment, your family, your friends, and so forth. So I would definitely say it's worth the investment to stick with it. You know, give it a chance. If one therapist is not for you, great, find somebody else. You know.
So two things, and Jeff mentioned one of them. He said, I think a lot of guys see it as a kind of weakness. Most guys have the mindset of I can handle it. And I think that's a big one, right? It's sometimes it's like you ever feel something and you're like, is this gonna just pass?
Right.
Or do I need to head to a doctor, like make an appointment for a doctor? Or do I need to head to the emergency room? You know, like it's just, can I keep it real? You guys had the moments like your arm tingling, you're like, okay, is this something? Because you won't be sitting there just pass out like, can I be concerned with this little bit of pain? Because you know, the older you get this weird pain. You're like, why is the middle of my stomach just hurting? like I haven't done any crunches or nothing. Just why is it? Ooh, and then
I see where you're going.
Okay,
I see where you're going. I see where you're going. So here's a couple of things just to clarify that part, right?
Yeah.
Most of us can handle it.
Right.
You know, most of us are equipped. I think all of us are equipped with the tools necessary to have a healthy mental and emotional state.
Right.
What happens is that we're not educated on what those things are. Right.
Right.
For example, this is an easy example for me. I lose my wallet almost every week. Right. Every week. And it's because sometimes my awareness isn't there to see exactly where it's at. Sometimes it's right there in front of me. But the awareness of what's good for me may be right. I mean, may not be there and may allow me to miss out on those things that can benefit me in a healthy way. Meaning it may just take you going to therapy a couple times and be like, all right, I got this. You know,
just getting clarity.
Yeah, just getting clarity, you know, and sometimes it may just be reading,
Right. Right.
You know, fasting and prayer, you know, whatever it is, there are a bunch of different things that could eliminate our feel from existence, you know.
Right.
So where you won't have to need a mental health provider. The issue is that we've allowed compounded issues, you know, to stack up on us.
Right.
You know,
Right.
transgenerational issues, transgenerational trauma, our own personal trauma,
Right.
to be a part of what is ailing us. And so therefore, yeah, we can handle it, but it gets to the point where it's too much.
Okay.
You know, and then that's why I'd say you'd need a mental health professional. But it's not to say that you got to be in therapy for the rest of your life. You
Right.
know,
Because that's the thought. That's
no,
what, you know.
my job, an effective therapist, is to get fired as soon as we can.
I got
You
you.
know?
I got you.
I don't want you to become codependent on me.
I got you.
You know, I want you
Right.
to be able to tap into your own resources, mental, emotional, spiritual, environmental, whatever it may be, to now utilize these things to benefit your mental and emotional state on your own.
Right.
You know, don't call me, I'll call you. Right? You got this, right?
Right.
You know,
Right. Right.
and so
Right.
a successful, case would be after they leave, I don't see them for a year and a half, maybe even 2.
Okay.
And then they can check in, every now and then to make sure that they're maintaining, or if something else comes up that's of a different nature,
Right.
they can bounce back in. But our job is to equip people to never need us ever.
Mm. Mm.
At least that's my stance. I
Ever?
yeah,
Yeah, I'm like,
yeah.
you about to get some life coaches fired.
Good. I mean, that's really good, honestly,
Yeah.
because I would love to see in about maybe 10 to 15, 20 years, my field is non-existent, because we have the capacity. All of us do.
Okay.
It's
I get
learning these things that are already inside of us.
Right.
And talk to the guy on this side, because in the military, things are being pulled out of you that you didn't even know were there.
Yeah.
They challenge you not just physically, but your mental state. Is what's really going to get you over some of those obstacles, to be like, wow, I didn't know I had that in me, you know?
Gotcha.
And so for a mental health professional who actually is working for you,
Right.
our job is to pull those things out of you so you can be like, all right, Matt, deuces, I'll see you never.
Right.
I got this,
Gotcha. Gotcha.
And so, yeah, I do believe people can maintain and create a balance in their mental and emotional state. Sometimes you just need that assistance to get there,
Right.
that maintenance, get there first, and then we can talk about excelling from there.
Nice. Okay. You guys feel free to jump in.
No, I was just going to say that, at least for me, you don't feel as men, in terms of going back to why men shy away. In a lot of cases I've experienced where you don't feel like there is a therapist or a regiment that is qualified for you, for what you carry, as a man. You don't speak my language.
Right. You don't know me.
You don't know me. Exactly.
I get that all the time,
Yeah.
and I used to get that the most when I used to work in recovery. People who are dealing with substance use issues, they'd be like, Matt, you never smoked crack. You ain't feel,
Right.
you ain't
Right.
feel my,
Yeah.
you weren't shooting in the gym, right?
And I got you, Richard.
Right? So my answer to that is that I don't have to touch the stove to know it's hot.
Right. Right.
There are certain things that I don't have to personally experience to then help you out of it.
Right.
And sometimes it's best that I never experience it.
Yeah.
In order to maintain my level of sanity, balance, to be healthy enough to help you out.
Right.
Sometimes people think that in order to get me out the mud, you got to come in the mud with me. Nah, man,
Right.
I'm gonna throw you a ladder. I'm gonna throw you a rope. I'll throw you a stick. And these things are things that you already have equipped with you. We're just highlighting them and, being a curious investigator to help pull these things into your consciousness.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes
You know?
sense.
And so, yeah, I am not the expert of anyone that comes in my office. What I'm the expert of are tools,
Right.
are different modalities, are different theories.
Right.
And it's not a one size fit all. Everybody comes in my office. I can't say, yep, this is what you need to do this, do that, and you good. See you later.
Right.
We have to make sure that we are being students of everyone that walks into our office so that they feel that they are the experts.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. I will assist in the understanding of what can better you towards the goals that you desire. Sometimes what happens is that we, as mental health professionals, we have biases because we may have desires for people that they don't have for themselves.
Right.
You know, I want you to, nah, you know, that's not going to be me. You know,
Right.
What I would truly like to see is you figure out what it is that you desire to change, and then coming in with that information
That's good.
helps me better send you off on that trajectory with a greater chance of success. It's not 100%. It's just a greater chance of success because you have different tools in your bag that you may not have had before.
So going into therapy, right? Having a goal in mind is critical, that you feel like knowing what you want to change and knowing exactly what's wrong, what is it that you're trying to get over or get to.
Man. Look, man, when I was a young adult and I was a little more naive, you know, and my car break down, I take my car to the mechanic and be like, hey, my car's not working, fix it. Right. Be like, yeah, I got you. That's the transmission.
Right.
That'll be $17,000, right?
Right.
And unfortunately, in every field, man, there are people that are predatory, meaning we want that money.
Right.
You know? And of course, it's a nature of doing business. We want to have a successful business, but the success for me is getting myself fired as fast as I can, you know? And so what that means is that if you come with the idea of what change looks like for you, my job becomes easier. It's less work for me to then try to pull things out of you, you know, try to figure things out as far as what direction you want to go. Come in with a general idea of what those goals are. And they may be, you know, something that you may not think is important, or you may not feel is relevant to whatever change. Whatever it may be, small or large, you know, we work with any type of issues that, you know, people may have as far as bettering their mental and emotional state. So come prepared, come with some idea of what change would look like for you. One of the questions I ask is that, you know, within the first session, I asked, what would be different when you walk out of here? What would that look like? You know, when you're done with therapy, you know, and everything is, well, you're singing my praises, you're writing my 5-star review on Google, right? What would be different for you? You know, how would you show up different in your day-to-day, right? How will you show up different in your marriage, in your work, in your own life, you know? And so with those ideas in mind, it helps me put the right tools, you know? I'm not going to give you the tools for a plumber if you're trying to fix a car. You know, I'm not going to give you the tools, you know, for something else if that's not what your goals are. So it would help if you have some type of understanding of where you'd like to go mentally and emotionally. What would you like to rid yourself of? What would you like to add to your life that could help create the balance you're looking for?
Gotcha. So Richard asked, is there such thing as transformational therapist?
I don't know about therapists, you know, but transformational therapy is just therapy.
Yeah. Right.
You're transforming, you know. You know, you're going on a journey basically, you know, and on that journey, change will occur. But changes vary from person to person, you know, and the time frame is different. People come in and be like, Matt, how long is it going to take to fix my marriage? My question is, how long did it take to break your marriage? You know? And so you know, we have to pace these things because it's not a one size fit all, you know. And so to the person is how I relate and how I create the alliance in order to have them believe that I'm interested in the change they're interested in.
Gotcha.
And that's important. If the therapist and the patient don't have an alliance, then a lot of things in that room is different.
Right.
Meaning, I don't trust you. You know, you look too bougie, right? I get this a lot. You look too young. You know, baby face boy will tell me about my life. One lady actually walked out of my office. She said to me, "My son is older than you."
Oh.
And I was like, would you like me to help you or not? Help you or not? You know, my degree's right there. My license is right there. You know? I can help, but
Right.
if you don't believe it, then I'm no use to you at all.
Right. And she walked out. I'm out.
And I think we struggle in our, and I'll say this, and I'm not talking about the community of color. I'm saying just in our communities, you know, in a lot of cases, the thought of therapy is an ominous path
Yeah.
for a lot of people. They don't, you know, they're concerned about what the outcome could or couldn't be.
Right.
In most cases, when someone is going to therapy, they've been referred, there's been an intervention.
Right.
Right.
Someone has encouraged you to go to therapy, which means now you feel like someone's telling you what you need to do to get better. Right. And that's something that messes with you psychologically. I mean, and I think that's, you know, men in most cases are in leadership positions. Men are the head, right? And so being encouraged to go talk to someone to help you be the head can be challenging emotionally, mentally.
Yes.
Because because we want to feel like we're in charge and we got it together, you know, and so that's why we come up with all of these other factors. You know, we question the efficacy of what's coming from a therapist. You know,
and you should.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think you should. I just feel like at least what I'm learning is you have to be talking to someone, right? And I'm challenged by, I hope we get to a point where you don't have to come to me. Yes. I am of the belief that I'm still coming. Maybe we get to the point where I'm no longer paying. Right? No, hold on. Here's what I mean by that. This is what I mean. What I'm saying is we have to have ongoing dialogue. Right. Because me left to my own accord can be dangerous. We can fall in love with our own voices.
Right.
Come on now.
And so I think it's important to have I call them the bumpers of life to keep you from going too far outside. You know, you got to have somebody to let you know you got a booger in your nose.
It's right there. It's hanging.
Yeah. You know, and in a lot of cases, you know, I don't want to get offended by someone pointing out something that's going to make me better, you know, but we do fight those things. We fight those things because a lot of times we don't want to be told. You know, we live our entire childhood with the mindset, I can't wait to get to the point where nobody can tell me what to do.
Right.
Just to be told what to do for the rest of your life.
Just to be told what to do for the rest of your life. Exactly. You know, so I mean, there are so many factors. You know, men, you know, we don't want to be vulnerable.
Right.
Men have a fear of vulnerability because we don't want to come back and be used against us. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law.
That's exactly the point I was going to make, you know, highlighting what you said. What therapists should be doing is allowing that person to tap into intimacy and vulnerability. Right. When we establish intimacy in the therapy room, changes start to occur. Right. When we establish that trust, that alliance that I spoke about, changes start to occur. Why? Because you feel that I'm not judging you. Right. You feel like you're safe enough to talk about those things that won't be brought back to what Pastor said, be weaponized against you. Right. You feel safe. And so an effective therapist would teach you how to create that own intimacy so that it will follow you in order to maintain the level of releasing, speaking, right? Letting these things out. So Pastor's 100% right when he said you shouldn't have to pay. You're right. Because when intimacy is present, you're not holding things on the inside. Right. The issue is intimacy is something that's not sexy for men.
Right.
You know?
Right.
It's not.
Right?
It's not pretty.
Right. Not in this sense.
Yeah. You know. Right. Because we don't see the value in it.
Right.
And because we don't see the value in it, then we like, man, I don't really need it. Right. But it's an integral part of us, man. We need that. You know, we need to be close to others in order to be able to maintain a cycle of in and out. Right. Once you get that clog, like, no, I ain't saying nothing. Right. I'm gonna take this to my grave.
Right.
That's it.
Good. You take it to your grave, and you will feel the results manifesting in one way, form, or another. Quality of life, your family, financial, physical health, mental, spiritual. All these things are impacted because you're backed up.
Right.
Yeah. Backed up. You haven't released in a while. We talked about changing a diaper. That's what therapists really do. We're cleaning up poop.
Right.
You know?
I
And,
just want,
and so in order to maintain this, once you
Right.
leave us, you know how to create your own intimacy.
definitely.
I appreciate that, Pastor. I was waiting for the scripture to go along with that too. I was like, come on. You know, I was waiting for it.
I just want to point out somebody's dryer just went off. Okay.
Yeah, that was mine. That was mine.
Need to get them close. They said recycling and emptying your mind trash. Indeed. Indeed. Just a quick reset. We are here. The Brothers of Legacy. Matt Genius is taking questions about therapy. I want to thank you guys for rocking. Make sure you stay connected. Text LWN to 845-76. Text LWN to 845-76. Also, make sure you are following Matt Genius in all spaces, even on Apple Music. Make sure you are staying connected. He's not only a therapist, he is a certified rapper with some hits based on BOL chart.
Number
one.
On
Number
the
one.
BOL chart. I love it. I'm gonna put that on my profile.
Right, there you go.
Number one on the BOL charts. They be like, oh shoot, go ahead, man.
Who is BOL?
I'm like, you gotta know about them.
But so we talked about fear. We talked about going in prepared. What are some of the I guess you kind of talked about timing. You know, everyone wants to get fixed. How long is this going to take? Like, how many times I got to come up in here before we get fixed? And I guess the question is, how many times you got to come up in here before you get fixed? What are some of the I won't say misunderstandings, but things that people don't really understand about therapy that you encounter? I know one is age, but you know, like you said, you have tools. You went to schools. You're certified. Like I got the tools. You know, I may not be old, but I've been doing this. You know, and I understand how this works, and I can kind of. I'm here to pull things out. I'm not here to necessarily relate. I'm here to. I know how to navigate your mind to pull the things out to help you. You know,
right. So there's a lot of things in my field that aren't aligned with me personally. You know. And so when you're in kind of a therapist, what you have to understand is we have our own biases and things that we're struggling with that makes us effective or not effective according to our own situation, you know? So don't believe that a therapist is the end all to your problems, right? The end all is you, right? And so our job is to empower you to know that you got this from this point on, you know? And so a part of that is how we're taught. When I first started as a therapist, man, listen, I was so fearful of getting it wrong, you know, that I followed the letter of the law, you know, meaning, listen, you come in, this is what we're going to do. You know, let me type up, okay. I'm not even looking at the client. I'm taking crazy notes and writing every word they say down, you know, because on the other end of it, what you guys don't get the chance to see is that these agencies that we work for are working us like crazy. And so the effectiveness that we can have is removed from the room because they make us into more robots than human. And so when you come in the room, sometimes you feel like there's no emotion there. Right. The human is not there. The only person that's in that room is the expert. And if you ever walk in the room with any type of expert, all they do is this. Blah, 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 blah. You know, I've been farming for 75 years.
Right.
I know everything about farming.
Right.
Great, but you don't know anything about my farm. Right. And so what happened as I got more seasoned is that I removed a lot of the textbook out of the room and brought more of the humanity in the room so that when people came in, they felt like they were in a space to where, listen, this person is a person just like me, and they're on their own journey of transforming. So they may not get everything right. My job is to pull those things that are effective for me. So if you're not coming in with your own understanding of what you may need to better yourself, then we are both in a space where we're not being effective. You know? So it's not just on us, you know. I've turned later on, like further on in my career, I've turned people away. I'm like, I can't work with you. You're not ready.
Wow.
After 2 sessions, I'm like, you're wasting my time.
Wow.
Certain people will have, for men specifically, and this is something that I started practicing maybe 3 or 4 years ago. I don't allow men to have their spouses, significant others, mothers, sisters, to make their appointments for them. I want to know that you are invested in this, So if I don't talk to you, I'm not seeing you.
Right. Okay.
Why?
Okay.
Because I need to know that you are interested in this. You want this change for yourself, not like what Pastor said earlier. Somebody is pushing you towards this, and they may push you towards it, but take the initiative, man. This is your life.
Yeah.
Pick
Take
up
the initiative.
baton, yeah.
Make that phone call. Be like, hey, man, tell me, look, and they grill me. They'd be like,
Right.
man, did you watch Baby Boy? Right? What set you claim? It's even better in person. When they come in the office, these are natural things that occur with men in general. When two men, alpha, beta, gamma, whatever you want to call them,
right.
we have to then, it's an unconscious process sometimes because the nature of how we've been programmed. We size each other up, we measure each other by different criteria to see if the chemistry is there in order to create some effectiveness towards change.
Right.
And so I let them. They come and be like, man, you all right. You
right.
You know something, you cool. You listen to hip hop, right?
Right.
And so it takes some of those things to get them to feel safe in the room, but it doesn't start with us. It starts with them.
Yeah.
Being in the frame of change can happen for me. If you don't believe change can't happen for you, then I'm not the place to, therapy may not be the place for you at the time.
Right.
When you're ready for change, then go seek it.
Right. All right. That's some good stuff. JT Money.
Yes, sir.
Any thoughts or words on therapy? You've heard a lot. Taking it all in.
I've really just been listening, man. I done been to therapy a few times. I done initiated it. I done been counseled and I've been tagged along. So therapy is good, man. You do have to go in there with a mindset that you're trying to accomplish something. Because if you just go in there willy-nilly, you're gonna come out willy-nilly. You know what I'm saying? So you do have to have some type of objective when you go in there. I go in there, I'm pretty much just laying it all out on the table. I'm pissed, mad,
yes.
Damn it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Then the questions become, why are you mad?
I love those clients.
You know what I'm saying?
I love those
what
clients.
you pissed about?
Yeah.
Well, such and such happened yesterday. They just rubbed me the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way you're gonna be able to get it out, man. You're going there waiting on them to wave this magic wand.
That's what I'm looking for. Well, you should know why I'm here.
You the therapist.
You the therapist. Fix me.
Tell me what's wrong with me. I'm like,
yeah. So and it's for those who want it. But like I said, I myself, I just like to speak to other men in group settings.
Okay.
One-on-one is good, and it's more structured. Yeah. But I prefer group settings.
I like groups too.
Yeah. And understand why. Understand why men prefer groups.
Please hit that.
Right? Do you understand it? Do you ask yourself why?
I'm gonna put it out there, and then you can be like,
okay,
that could be some, but you can put it all. I think it's just one is someone say something, you be like, oh yeah, I ain't the only one feeling that way. I'm not crazy in my head. I think that's the main thing, like feeling like you're not alone in a specific feeling.
Yeah.
But that's a premeditated thought. In most cases, that's not. That's not what's happening.
Hiding. I can hide a little bit.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that's I'm not the only one. That's a benefit. That's a revelation.
Yeah.
During the experience. Right. But the question for me, I feel like we're tribal by nature.
Yes,
Mhm.
safety
Yeah.
in numbers. That's what I was
Yeah.
about
Yes,
to say.
safety in
Sure.
numbers. That's exactly what it is. We feel more
True.
comfortable, and then we find out, oh wow, I'm not the only one who thinks like that. You know,
Right.
that's a plus.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
You know,
Oh yeah.
you know there's,
But
there was, go ahead.
but again, going back to what you said, Kaneem, and you said this earlier, Matt. The question is, why would you go to your your doctor, your medical doctor, and not be honest?
Mm.
Right? What's been going on with you? You've been having a pain, or do you drink? No, you drink. Right? Like, how can I help your body get better if you don't tell me what you're putting in it,
You should have known.
so that we can understand the impact? How can I help you get better if you're not honest about, this infection you've been fighting?
That's the safety. That's the safety
It's
I was
right.
referring
You
to.
don't want to put it out there, and so it's the same thing with the mind doctor, the emotional doctor. It's like, if you're not really telling, and you said this, Canadian, if you're not really going to tell them what you're doing, then you're wasting everybody's time.
I don't want your money,
Right. Right.
because you're wasting my time, honestly.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and so if it's not going to be like, if it's not going to be transparency, then we don't have to do this.
No doubt.
No
doubt.
And I'll be okay by saying, you know what, for me now and where I am in my career, I feel I have the confidence to say that, like, this is not working out. I have 3 referrals for you. Here are these numbers. You can go, try these other therapists, because we don't have that alliance. We don't have that vulnerability that we need to get this done.
Right.
There's some bias in the room that you're not letting go of. Maybe
Right.
maybe you're not ready. And that's okay too. That's okay too.
Truth is, I don't like guys named Matt. I just couldn't get over it.
That's great point.
I heard a long time ago, one old preacher told me, he said, some people just need any excuse.
Right. Right.
Mm.
Yeah.
To find any reason not to do something that's going to only help them.
Right.
Pastor said something earlier about the head. A wise man once told me, without the head, the body ceases to function.
Right.
And so when we utilize these things as men, the head of the household, and say, we got this, we got to understand that if we're driving the ship, who's driving us?
Yeah.
Right.
What's driving us? What mental state, emotional state, physical state, spiritual state is allowing us to have enough confidence to say, I got this.
Right.
Crash. I got this. Crash. I got the no, I'm good.
Right.
But I aged myself. The original Superman movie with Christopher Reeves, and he catches the woman falling from the building.
Right.
And he says, I got you. She was falling, screaming, ah! And he called, I got you. She goes, you got me? Who's got you?
Right. Yeah.
Very true, man. So those points are things that I think for men, our true strength is in our mental and emotional state.
Right.
Physically, look, we got it, right? But your physical strength can be magnified by X amount if this is where it needs to be.
Yeah.
You know what happens though? You practice on those that are closest to you, and then it comes back to haunt you, and then you shut down. Right? There's a major conversation going on with men and their vulnerabilities to their families.
Listen, man. Oh.
Right? Yeah. And it's really, really challenging to have the conversation because of the issues that are growing in our community or have grown in our communities. And that is being vulnerable to those that are supposed to love you and having it come back and being used as a weapon against you.
Right.
And we've gone through so many generations of that you don't want to talk to anybody.
So I want to throw something in there. So before you answer, Matt, I mean, you might go along the lines of what I was going to ask, but how, right? So what you're saying, Pastor, right? Boom. I open myself up. I got a few cousins, uncles. Let's not even talk about wife. Let's just say cousins and uncles. I open up about a vulnerability, it gets a little tense in the room. There's more folk. The uncle stands up. Well, you got blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I was sharing that with you. And it's like getting stabbed 3 or 4 times. Especially if you're not that type that your feelings get hurt a lot. You don't even know what to do with these feelings. Choke him out, run out the room, And so how do we overcome those fear of being vulnerable?
Man, I'm working on something right now. I'm actually working on a TED Talk.
Okay.
I'm trying
Okay.
to pitch my first TED Talk, and it's going to be around exactly what Pastor said: emotional vulnerability in
Right.
men, but
Right.
in all of us in general, right? And so there's a specific environment that is necessary for us to thrive in,
Right.
right? Listen, our environments are our environments right now. Sometimes we feel like we don't have control over the environment in order to create effective change.
Right.
That starts within.
Yeah.
You
Definitely.
change this environment, the environment outside have no choice but to change,
Right.
because you will be different. And in you being different, the environment will shift to your benefit, right?
Mhm.
You will strategically put things in place that will allow this environment to linger, to last, right? And the environment that you need to thrive in is intimacy. We need intimacy. Men, we need intimacy. And that intimacy is us being able to allow the process of things coming in and things coming out, right? Any ecosystem that has that effectively is an ecosystem that's thriving,
Right.
right? I remember the first time I learned about ecosystems in like seventh grade. I was a slow learner, in physical science. I was like, wow, this makes sense. So you try to tell me the rainfall in the pond,
Right.
the tadpoles, then the birds and the
Right.
insects, and then everything plays, and they show
cycle
you
of
the
life.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Right.
that's what our environment should be. Our
Yeah.
environment should never remain stagnant,
Mm-hmm.
internal or external.
Right.
Things have
Right.
to have space to move, to breathe, to grow, and we're not
Okay.
used to that environment because it's an environment that threatened our existence from before. Meaning,
Right.
when we were vulnerable, when we did say what it is that we're dealing with, people were
Yep.
like, the environment wasn't conducive for that.
Right.
And so if the environment isn't conducive, then we're like, nah, I ain't never saying that again.
Never.
You will never
Never.
hear me complain again.
Nope.
Oh, men not supposed to complain? Oh, men don't cry?
Right. Right.
We don't feel pain?
We don't.
No
Nothing.
pain, no pain, no gain? Okay,
Nothing.
I got it, right?
Nothing.
And so we just shut all of it down and look at the impacts that it's had on us over the past 3 to 4 decades.
Yes. Yeah.
know?
Definitely.
Decline in physical health, decline in marriage, as far as people getting married,
Right.
increase in divorce,
Right.
increase in, a lot of other physical and emotional issues that we see in our communities. It's because we've lost touch with each other. We don't know how to be vulnerable in a state of brothers where it's,
Right.
Men together.
Right.
We can get there.
Yeah.
Takes a couple drinks,
Right. Right.
Hey,
Right.
let's keep it 100. It might
Yeah.
take a couple puffs,
Yeah.
We can get there, but I think we have to learn how to create our own environment to thrive in.
Right.
And what is thriving? What is thriving, right?
Yeah.
Thriving is when you go outside in the springtime and you see all of the flowers are out, the birds are singing. That's a thriving environment,
Right.
right? What does that feel
Minus
like on
the
the
pollen.
inside? Minus the pollen, yeah. Minus the pollen. Even that's necessary too,
Right.
Sometimes you got to sneeze to get certain things out. And that's
Yeah.
what the pollen helps you with. So
Right. Right.
either way, the point is we have to take control of our environment to create an environment that's conducive for intimacy.
Mhm.
And I don't know what that is for each one of you. You have to know what that is. And in order to know what that is, you have to start paying attention,
Yeah.
And some of us may not, like I said, some of us may not have had the tools necessary to see what's right in front of us,
Right.
see the environment, the things that may need to change, things that we need to add, things that we need to remove in order to create that environment to thrive in.
Yeah.
Right.
We don't take the time to do that. We're just on to the next item on the agenda. But again, I believe that the message, the wholeness of the message, has to go to the entire family.
Right.
It has to go to the community, to the village, right?
Yeah.
Because in the military term, you're only as strong as your weakest link.
Right.
You have to find out where the breaches are. Where can the enemy get in? Where does the trouble come from? And you've got to send the help to the area that has a potential for breach.
Right.
And sometimes the breach is the receiving end of your vulnerability
Right.
and what comes back to you. And we have those fears. And so what I've learned and what I'm learning, continuing to learn is, we've got to have these conversations, but our families have to learn and grow and evolve to be open to these conversations.
Right.
It's difficult to go talk to a stranger when you can't even talk to your family.
Listen, man, I want to give you standing ovation right now. Seriously, because I don't think people are listening or are really getting what you're saying. If like Pastor, I remember seeing the family life cycle for the first time. And I'm like, okay, as a up and coming therapist, I was like, okay, where can I be most effective? Right. Family life cycle. It starts with, the parents and the marriage, and then you have kids, and then the kids become teenagers, and then those teenagers become young adults, and then they get married. And so where can we, and then what you start to see is that the whole cycle is jacked up. Everywhere. There's no space where, okay, they're good, I don't need to worry about that. It's the whole cycle. It's the whole system.
Yeah.
Marriages are under attack. Babies, if the parents aren't healthy, they're going to get the results of having their parents not healthy in their life. Those teenagers aren't going to have the relationship they desire with those parents because the parents aren't. You see how, and it keeps going.
Right.
And so you have unhealthy teenagers become unhealthy adults, and then they get married to unhealthy people. Cycle continues.
Right.
So I remember, I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna become a family therapist, right?
Get everybody in this mother.
Get everybody in that, And what I realized is that you just have to work with whatever population that you feel the most passionate with, make the impact, and then watch how that impact changes and impacts the entire cycle. So however you get in, wherever you get in, be effective in that area, And then if there's an area in your own life personally that you may not have the strength, that's where you have to go get the resources. You may be great in parenting, children, but teenagers, you may have a little issue with that, and that's okay, right? Or you may have been, cooking. Marriage is great, kids are great, teenagers are great, young adult, I have issues with that, Go get help, right? Or it may be the marriage that's under rocks, So go get help for that as well.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to wait till the whole system breaks down. Now imagine going around this cycle 3 or 4 times, looping. Oh, everybody checked that, And then now it comes to you. You'd be like, well, why am I so? Look back, man. These things are transgenerational.
Right.
Grandpa was wilding. Grandma.
Grandma was wilding.
It wasn't even that. I just like that expression. But the issue, I do. But the thing is that they may have had issues that they may not have dealt with. That were then transferred over to their kids, and then their kids kind of transfer them over to the next generation. And then if we don't get a chance to break that cycle, many unhealthy patterns have been normalized in our communities.
Right.
That's all I know. I saw that's what my dad did. My mom did it that way. My auntie, cousin. That's all I know. And so we stay in that mode as if we can't know something different.
I think one of the is just whatever needs to change. It's one thing like, Matt, you need to stop doing that. Okay, what else should I do? Like if I don't have a healthy alternative, okay, if I'm not supposed to do this, what am I supposed to do?
You guys are writing.
Can't ignore this.
You guys are writing my TED Talk for me. You're writing my TED Talk right now. I'm telling you.
I got you.
Mainly because what you're saying is that. So the problem that I have with a lot of the mental health guides and what they teach us is that they tell us what are the protective factors. Right. We know what the risk factors are. Everything.
Right.
Everything's a risk factor.
Everything. Right.
But the protective factors, we get to the protective factors. We say family is a protective factor. We say church community is a protective factor. We say social settings a protective factor. We say environmental is a protective factor. Mental and emotional IQ is a protective factor. Diet, exercise, all these things are protective factors, meaning they decrease the risk of you dealing with mental, emotional, physical illnesses. Right. We say all these things are, but we don't say how to actually maintain the family, maintain the environment, maintain the diet. We just say these are the protective factors, but sometimes we leave those tools to really get in there to understand what it is that this family needs to be an environment to thrive in. What does this environment need? This specific community needs for them to thrive in. And like I said, thriving looks different for every one of us. So I can't say my thriving is what you need, you know? And so there's a lot. Man, you just got to come to the TED Talk, man. Just come to the TED Talk. Hopefully it's going to be in Atlanta, you know?
What up, Chris? I got married so I could have someone tell me what to do. I feel.
Hey, that's true for so many. You know, I don't need to be by myself. I gotta have, you know. But everybody gets what they need. That's the whole.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
That's your reason, Chris, man. Hopefully it's happy for you.
Right. It works. It works.
Yeah, hopefully it works. You know, if it's not working out, then change your environment.
Yeah.
But I think one of the, and you know how you say thriving means something for everybody else, means something different. But I think the main thing that we can all agree on is just feeling free, you know, having the freedom to kind of express, have a place to express it, you know, feeling like you can grow. I think that's all of us.
You just described thriving for you.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, you just described thriving for you. And so once you get the idea of what that environment looks like, what it feels like intrinsically, what thoughts are thoughts of thriving,
Right.
you know? Meaning sometimes our brains are just like murder, 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 kill, 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 death, 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 doom, 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 destruction, destruction, destruction.
Right.
And that's not a thriving brain right there.
Right.
You know,
No doubt.
you can't be creative, you know, you
Right.
can't be intimate, you know. It's a difficult space for you to learn and to process information.
Right.
And so you're not your best self in the absence of an environment that is thriving.
Right. True indeed. All right. So we appreciate you guys for being here, rocking with us. Another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. Some great information dropped by my brother Matt Genius. So make sure you follow Matt Genius everywhere on social media. That's just one T, M-A-T, Genius, like jeans you wear, I-U-S. So make sure you follow him on all social media. Check him out on Apple Music. Jeff said earlier, let me see if I can find it quickly. About how the music plays, he said 5 times a day. So that's awesome. So make sure you guys are just staying connected. Oh
yeah, Jeff have my music on heavy rotation. I appreciate Jeff.
Nice.
One of my biggest supporters. I appreciate Jeff.
Nice. Let's see. Let's get that. So you can also connect with Matt Genius at beachstonecounseling.com. Beachstone Counseling. So if you want to send them an email, if you want to set up a therapy session, make sure you connect with them. Richard mentioned coming to the U.S. Listen, there's Zoom. You can connect on Zoom, Matt. Richard, connect on Zoom.
Yeah.
All right, so just make sure you email him, set up a time. He's open for business. He's ready to change your life.
Yeah. And we also do, you know, myself and my wife, we also do workshops, trainings,
Yes.
you know, lectures, you name it. So if you
Right.
have a business that need some assistance in creating some synergy, some intimacy, or a
There you go.
family, whatever,
Yes.
you know, we work with small, large, medium
Right.
businesses. So
There you go.
yeah.
So make sure you connect. All right. So we look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow, same time, same channel. Make sure you are sharing. Sharing is caring. What's best interface? So we look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Make sure you continue to support, come through. Make sure you are sharing. Make sure you're listening to the podcast. Help us grow. All right. So 988, if you or someone you love is having a mental health crisis, dial 988 to get the proper help. And know that we love you. Jesus loves you more. Continue to stay safe. And tomorrow, I meant to mention this story, Kaneem, about the guy suing about the chicken wings. We're going to talk about that just a little bit in the morning.
And there's a judge is hearing the case today about the abortion pill may be abolished. So
interesting.
you may not, the Plan B pill may be going away for you ladies who like to be a little promiscuous.
All right. So we look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Same time, same channel. Know that we love you. Jesus loves you more. Stay safe. Make some good choices. Peace out.